Hello and welcome back to the Full Figured Interviews, where we talk to some of the incredible people in our Full Figured community. I'm James.
And I'm Tim, so let's get into it.
Now listen, today we are speaking with the Full Figured Industry Awards 2024 Outstanding Photographer, Miss Sherine Tate.
Hi everybody. Hello guys. I'm happy to see y'all because
Thank you.
that night was wonderful.
It was. That was a really great
And
night.
I'm still on a high and I'm still shocked.
Baby. Oh, but how are you? You're good? You're still living on that high? We're doing okay here?
Yes. Everything is good. Just moving forward and, thinking of new ideas for my business and everything. And, since the award show, it's a couple of models that I will be working with, got to fly out to wherever they're at, which I love Atlanta, so that's not a problem to go to, and just work with them and everything, because knowing that was a award show, it was a great networking opportunity as well.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, this is part of what this series is about, right? Like, we're taking the opportunity to get to know all the different winners and honorees and see what they're getting up to. And I love that even here at this early point in the year, you've already done something with this. You're in contact with people. You use this event for networking. And you're already getting into the good that comes from a time like this. So listen, let's talk about it here at the top of it. What was that experience like for you being there that night?
So being there that night, like I said, I was shocked. Well, from the beginning, I was shocked that I was nominated because, you'd be surprised, you work hard and sometimes, because we're human, you think nobody notices it. But as people out there, they might not click the like button or follow you, but they're watching. So when I got nominated and I got the email, I was like, is this scam? I looked at it, I was like, and then when I fully read it and it was like, you've been nominated for Outstanding Photographer, and I looked up the other photographers and everything. I was like, oh wow. So was very grateful for that opportunity and just move, forward with the process. And then getting to the awards, I was nervous, excited, because I was like, okay, what if I win? What do I say? Because I didn't write anything down, because it was, amazing photographers in the lineup. And, me being a video film person and everything, I'm up there filming with my phone, and they was like, when the guy said, yep, Sherine Tate, I was like, and my niece was with me, so she's recording and everything. So just to get that award, oh man, that really just inspired me to go harder. Like I said, that was my first award. Been in the industry for 5 years, and it just felt great. And I'm glad that my words came out right, because I'm not a public speaking person. So getting up there and you see the crowd and everything, and that I felt like I was at the Oscars.
Well, baby, people were dressed like it, weren't they? I mean, I was.
Oh my God, the outfits.
The outfits. I was talking so much to Tim and my partner when we were there. I was like, oh my God, what is she wearing? Oh my God, look at the colors. Oh my God,
Yes.
Look at those curves. My mouth was running dry from the fact that I could not stop chattering about how fantastic people looked before we even got into the venue to be seated to be part of the ceremony. It was just...
And then
I felt underdressed, actually.
My outfit was last minute, and I will admit that, but I made it where I still look, of course, presentable. But yeah, the outfits, the dresses, the suits, and then you saw the 3 ladies that was a part of in pageants with the crowns on top of their head. I was like, oh wow, okay,
yeah,
this is the real deal.
With heels, with hair, with the crown. And when you look at some of these people, right, I remember saying this to Tim at the time, there was some women there who were, curvy and wearing what they wore, and they looked fantastic. And then there were bitches who must have been pumping 450 pounds, but they were wearing, ball gowns. They were wearing couture. And I was like, oh my God, the presence and the power of this. It is just unbelievable. And so listen, this actually shout out to people. If y'all have not gone to the gallery yet and checked out the fits people was wearing, you need to go to the Fire's website, theffias.com, and go check that out, because people look fantastic. Really phenomenal night. But we're here today with you, Sherine, our
Yes.
winner, Miss
Yes.
Outstanding Photographer 2024. Now, for people who may not be familiar with you, what would you say is the first thing you want people to know about you?
So the first thing I would love people to know about me is that I'm a techie at heart. I have 15 years in the IT industry. So getting into photography, videography, I started at 37, and I kind of said I wish I wanted to start it earlier, but God had other plans, so I just moved forward with everything. So I'm a techie at heart, love helping people, love creating, love coming up with new ideas, love bringing other people's ideas to fruition. So I'm overall, you know how I'll help out somebody, like I'll give my all to help somebody and kind of put me on the back burner. But I just love what I do. And, hopefully in the near future, I'll get pushed out when God is ready to push me out and just do this full time. I would love to do a Met Gala. I would love to do Essence Fest. I would love to do the Oscars, but in due time, in due time.
So as a recipient of, a full-figured industry award, how did you come to find love and pride and joy in the body that you have now?
I've been my height, my weight almost my whole life, like since high school. My weight hasn't fluctuated that much. And I just, I live with it. It's beautiful clothes out here that can help hide it. It's some garments out here that will snatch you to the gods. And you might not be able to breathe, but you're going to look good in that outfit. And my body is my body. My weight is my weight. And I love me. Okay, if you don't like my body, fight me. Because I'm me. And so many beautiful, full-figured women, curvy women, and they're killing the game. These models are out here doing it, and the clothes are phenomenal. I can remember back in the day that you really had to get something made if full-figured and everything. Now, nobody's holding any punches. They was like, we can give you what, say, the skinny girls are wearing. If you want to wear this, we can make it. And I love it.
That's amazing. So what's your relationship to some of the other euphemisms that we have a tendency to use for being plus size, like curvy, thick, and is fat a triggering word for you?
No. I look at I look at it like this. I never had legs or hips or butt like that, so I'm top heavy. So I could say I'm big boned, fat, whatever. That's not a trigger word for me. Curvy, no, that's not me. Thick, yeah, but I'm more top heavy thick. So however, I guess the women identify themselves, hey, you're beautiful. If you're thick, you're curvy, thick and curvy. Of course, you got some mean people out in the world that say, you're fat. Okay. And you're a beanpole. Like, I can give it right back to you. So that's something that, that's not going to trigger me. And I'm happy with how I look. That's all I can say.
But listen, you are based in Philadelphia, right?
Yes.
Do you feel like the vibe of the city influences your work?
Yes, but I love traveling to different cities. One time, me and my friends, we just traveled to LA and we shot in Joshua Tree. That's a desert. So we're stepping over snake holes. We saw something of a paw shape that we don't know what type of bobcat animal. Look, we was just like, look, let's get out of here before it gets dark. I love travel, Atlanta. Like, I want to go to Arizona and shoot. I love Philadelphia, but I think I have pretty much touched everything that I would want to touch in Philadelphia. So I don't mind traveling to different states to get a look that I will want to get. It's something in Joshua Tree that's called the Invisible Stairs. It's nothing but stairs in the desert. And I would love to shoot there. So give me out of town, overseas, and I love it. Because that gives you more creativity. It gets your brain flowing of how to shoot this, how to do this type of shoot. Or, say if you don't have a certain item, then your brain got to think like, all right, well, how would I shoot this since I don't have this element with me? And your mind just go and you think about it and you'll get it and you just get that perfect shot and you keep moving.
That's really interesting, that sense of really thinking on your feet and I suppose being very present and in the moment. I mean, Tim, you've done some photography yourself in the past.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Like,
Very amateur, but
I would love to see your work. I know it's phenomenal.
Thanks. I did take so my sister, because she knows that I'm a photographer as a hobbyist, so she utilizes that as much as possible. So I've taken photos of her children. I took her engagement pictures. I took some of her wedding photos. And then for my middle sister, I took all of her wedding photos.
You're out here, and stop being shy. Like, you're out here, you shooting weddings and stuff.
Well, and I learned the old-fashioned way of developing film, going into a dark room, using the enlarging machine, doing the prints, all of that. And I
Wow.
fell in love with the process of shooting it on film to creating a print of it. And unfortunately, they don't really do photography that way anymore. That's
Yeah.
a really old way of doing it, and that's more of a hobby. But I do have dreams of building a dark room for myself someday.
And I'm glad you touched on that. I want to get into that, but I'm not saying I'm scared. I'm a techie at heart. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go all out. And then I barely have room for my equipment now in my room. So now that's more equipment. Then I have to find a nice old school camera, buy the certain film and everything. So what do you shoot with that produce? Is it Nikon, Canon?
I believe that I used to use Canon. I don't know if they still make this film, but it was meant specifically because I did not learn how to develop color film, which is a totally different process.
Okay.
I learned black and white. So I would buy specifically black and white film. And what I really loved about the process of creating the print was, say that my negative wasn't quite perfect, it wasn't really as sharp as it could be, or it wasn't, I could take that negative, and through manipulating the enlarging machine, I could get a really great print out of it.
Okay.
And then being able to manipulate the light the way that you could create more dramatic lighting, you could create a more washed out lighting. I just loved being able to transform this blank sheet of paper into kind of whatever version of that image I wanted it to be.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's dope. I know, and once that come out, you just look at it, you like, ooh.
Yeah,
I
you
like
do kind of
this.
look at it like, I took this. This could,
Yeah.
hey, this could hang in a museum, and I took it.
I know that's right. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that. I'm a maybe dibble and dabble in something.
I believe that there are some college campuses that still offer courses that teach that. It's been over 10 years since I've been to a college course. So
I'm gonna definitely look into it, or find somebody a mentor that be like, hey, show me the ropes. Because I know a guy, he's into just taking pictures that way. I don't do digitals, but then he complains how expensive it is to get them developed.
It's a much more expensive process.
That's why you want to build your own dark room.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now I gotta come to Cleveland and use your dark room.
There you go. Now, is this not how people build community, and how people build those business connections with the networking through conversation and that sharing of that mutual interest?
Yes, I totally agree. You would never know if I didn't speak to him. I would never know that he was a photographer into doing photography that way, of just doing how Tim do.
Yeah.
And I fell in love originally with fashion photography, probably thanks to reality television like America's Next Top Model.
Yeah.
I would watch that show, and people were so funny. They're like, you really watch that show? I'm like, I'm not watching it for the drama or the contestants. I'm watching it for the photo shoots. I want to see the hair and makeup. I want to see the set. I want to see the costume. I want to see what is this photographer doing? How are they taking the photo? What would I do differently?
I totally agree with you. I have looked at shows like that, because I'm a videographer as well, and I'll watch certain shows. You like that show? I'm not watching it for that. I'm watching it to see, first of all, what cameras they're using, so maybe I can find the credits at the end and look up the people that's part of the production. But I'm looking at how they film it, how they cut over, the transitions that they use, because some of these shows are phenomenal, and you can definitely learn a lot. And then when you find out they're using a $30,000 camera, you're like, well, hold on, back it up.
Yeah, when I saw the price of a Hasselblad, I was like, people literally pay this much money for a camera. One camera.
I think $47,000. Yep.
It's a house. Well, almost.
Yeah. Almost.
Almost a house, a half a house.
Yeah, maybe 20 years ago that was a house, but Now you want to add another zero to it'd be a 500,000, but a couple more zeros. But yeah, the Hasselblad. Yeah, oh my God, I looked at that camera because I saw somebody have it in their hand, and when I looked up the price, my mouth said, "Oh," I said, "I'm not there yet. I'm gonna stick with my Canon."
Oh yeah.
Which one doesn't go? We're going to take it back right now because I need to understand, because you are this techie person. You are clearly
Yes.
this like very investive creative, and I love that about you. What was your relationship with tech and creativity like growing up?
So, so growing up, I never forget that my dad's VCR broke, and I think that started me in tech because I took it apart and I fixed it. And as young as I can remember, I always had some type of electronic item. If it was the Nintendo, a learning machine that because my mom didn't play about education, something that lit up, or a fake little leap pad computer. But once I fixed that laptop, I was like, okay, I like technology. Went to high school, was in the business department. I said, okay, I like business. So getting into that at a young age, I want to say it really started when I was 4 years old and got that Nintendo, and then it's just been uphill. Like once I saw that, I was like, okay, I like how this worked. I want to, I had fixed my Nintendo before because it broke. Okay. I was always the one that I would figure out issues with technology, anybody's computer. Back in the day, you could, pop a computer apart and look at it, go get a part fairly cheap and fix it. I mean, you can't do it now, but, I was always that go-to person. I developed at a young age of just figuring out how to fix stuff, and went to college for technology, and I look up everything that comes out. I just be like, okay, I'm gonna look at it, but I'm not gonna buy it, and then eventually I wind up buying it anyway. So it's the way of the world. It's not going anywhere. It's just going to keep progressing.
So, do you find that your IT knowledge has helped you navigate photography, or have you had to unlearn any part of the tech business to get better at the art part of photography?
So I would say it's a 50-50 thing, especially with being techie. I read reviews like crazy because I'm not going to, this equipment is high. So if I'm dropping $3,000 on something, of course, I'm going to do research for a couple of months or so just to make sure that it's worth it, just to see like what people say about it before just spending my money on it. So I would say, with the techie part of that's a good thing because I research with tech anyway. And then sometimes I take the tech out of it because sometimes you get so caught up at, okay, I have to do it this way. I have to do it. Sometimes I just say, you know what? Let me just do it this way, and what will come out is how it's going to come out is how it's going to come out. Because sometimes you have to turn that part off just to have fun with it. Because if you always got to analyze everything, oh, this has to be this way, this has to be this way, it's going to take the fun out of it. I love creating a vibe and having fun with photo shoots and video shoots. I don't want to be the one that's always on set like, oh, did you set it to this? Did you set it to that? Look, nope. I just want to go, shoot, have fun, make sure I'm capturing the client's ideas, and just have it that way. So it's sometimes that I have to be techie, and then sometimes I just don't care, and it still comes out phenomenal. Because sometimes you could just keep overthinking something so much that it just steals the joy out of creating. So, and for me, knowing I have 5 years in the industry, I still look up to certain photographers, meaning I love their work, I love their craft. But I take it to sometimes you look at their work and you like, wow, but you gotta realize something. Your 5 years versus today 15 years. So sometimes that'll play on your mind because sometimes that makes you think, oh, my work gotta look like this. No, you're where you're at, where you're supposed to be at, and you will get to where they're at because they have to put in the work, they have to put in the time.
Yeah.
So
there's
sometimes
no other way to get it done.
exactly. So sometimes, with social media, I'll just click it off. I'll just go mute from it and just go and create my own thing and play with lighting and play with Photoshop and tweak certain things just to get an image to a certain way and just have fun with it.
So you've actually taken your love of photography and you've turned it into this business, Tate Digital Media,
Yes.
What are some of the pitfalls about starting your own business that nobody warned you about?
Nobody warned me about that it would be cheap clients. Nobody warned me about, getting your LLC or how to file your business taxes or, it's certain things with getting into a business. I just really just got everything right within 5 years being in business. So, nobody told me that, you're going to go through with the tax, not say tax issues, but, make sure you're taking out proper taxes. Nobody, said you don't have I have an LLC, but, some people is out here that's, doing excellent and don't have an LLC. So I think a lot of people put emphasis on that, you got to get your logo, you got to get your website, you got to have an LLC, you got to have a studio, you got to have this. And you really don't in the beginning. I would say just work up to that, because when you're building your business, and I know for me, my first year within photography, $10,000 came out of my pocket. And that's a lot of money. You realize that with, the stuff that you need and, for, getting these pictures this way, the software, the computers, the everything, it's a lot. And what I know now, if I was to start the business again, I know which way I would go. I wouldn't rush into say, oh, you need your logo or you need your LLC or you got to get this website. I would have probably more so focus on marketing and get myself out there.
That makes a lot of sense. I feel like, we brought this up a couple of times with different guests, right? Like, we live in the age of the hustle culture, and it's brilliant that people really want to put themselves out there to do thing that they really want to do. And sometimes there is a question of like how you transition from, I suppose, the hobby or lower end, you could say, I guess, like side of doing what you do to transitioning into business and doing this in a way that is sustainable and replicable and all of that stuff. So I appreciate you sharing that right there. I actually want to take it back a minute and ask, because yes, you're interested in tech and yes, you want to understand all these things. Where did photography come into the mix?
I started, I'm still a videographer, but I started off with video. So I was doing content creation for a Philadelphia influencer. So I was shooting my videos off of my iPhone, but I was shooting in 4K. And everybody was like, oh my God, your videos are clear. They're amazing. What are you using? My iPhone. So I went to a business conference in Atlanta and I met a guy named Brandon Dixon, and he's videographer, photographer. So he had his own course that he teaches. But I was sitting in like a breakout session listening to him like, hey, if you're creating content for somebody, why not make money from it? Are they paying you? You could be making money from it if you're filming. He said, even if you're using your phone, you can make some type of money from it. So, I talked to him after the class and everything, and he said, I feel like you'll be a good candidate for my class that I'm having. It was like 6 weeks. And 6 weeks online, 2 days and 2 days hands-on in Atlanta. So once I talk with him, you know how you're scared, but you try to talk yourself out of something. And I just went for it. I invested in myself. I took that class, and the rest has been history. That's how I got into it. Really going to a business conference with some friends and took a 6 weeks course and came back, started my business. I think in less than 3 weeks, I was shooting a conference.
I mean, I feel like there is something to be said about people who are just willing to put themselves out there and into the space. Like, I understand, yes, sometimes things are in timing. Sometimes we gotta wait and have patience, and sometimes we gotta let it cook before we serve it up. But sometimes when it's right, and you just need to put yourself in it and let it happen. And looking at how things have come forth for you in that time is just incredible. So let's put it out there, first of all, to the viewers. That is Tate Digital Media that you'll need to be going and following on all the social medias. Of course, we're going to have that here at the end of the pod. But the business, you're out here doing it. And I know you were expressing before, when it comes to your photography, that you'd love to go to new places and look for new things and see how you put yourself in different circumstances. I'd love to know, like, for you personally, do you feel like there are certain themes or ideas that, like, emerge as items of focus when you do your shoots?
I can be like in the middle of a shoot and I'll see a vision. So now I'm around the studio looking for a piece of fabric, looking for something sheer, looking for something to bring this idea to fruition. And, you know, and I just tell the person, I said, just trust me. You trust me? They was like, yeah, I trust your eye. And once the picture comes out, it's like, oh, wow. I just love how sometimes my mind just thinks, and then I see something, and then if I have the items, I can put it into, I guess I could put it into the set, or I could add it into the set using Photoshop. But and sometimes I use a set designer, because sometimes I do have an idea, but sometimes you can't do it all yourself. I'm learning that. You can't do everything yourself. So I know a couple of great set designers that can take something from nothing and it look like you're in somewhere in Jamaica. Where did you get a bag of sand from? I want to know where you got the sand from. But that's what being creative is all about, and working with other people as well. And I learn from them, because sometimes they'll show me things and I just be like, oh, that's a mental note for next time.
So as a plus size person, do you find that there are opportunities for you to be mentored by other people that have shared your experience?
I have, a couple of mentors. Like when I went down for the boot camp of the 6 weeks, he still calls me. He'll still, ask me to fly down to shoot conferences and give me tidbits on how to get certain clientele and everything. Then I do I do media for my church. My pastor had his own TV show, his own production company. So he really took me under his wing and showed me how to deal with sound, how he, pictures and composition and everything. So I have a few, they're all males, but I have a few mentors that have took me under my wing and be like, hey, this is how you do this with the business. This is how you hone in on getting the certain clientele you want. Okay, so then they'll say, okay, so I'm gonna show you lighting. I have had mentors that show me lighting, and just to be like, hey, I'll help you if you help me. If you need like a PA, I'll come on set and just help you. Because at the end of the day, everybody's like, oh, they're not going to pay you. No, because what I'm about to learn from them, that's the payment within itself, because they've been doing it for a while. Like these people have lit sets for major production companies. So why not learn from them, so you know how to light anything from video to photos and do it properly? So I have several great, mentors: Brandon Dixon, Cameron Washington, Ricky Codio, phenomenal media people that has been in the industry for a long time. And I can call them if I need help with something, or if I'm venturing out anything new, they will definitely help me and guide me in the right direction.
So you've also said before that you don't believe in luck, that it's faith and consistency that have gotten you to where you are today. How do you
Absolutely.
feel that your faith informs your determination and approach to your work?
I look at it like this. Sometimes you want certain gigs, you want certain jobs, and you go about it the right way. And I look at it as not your time. It's not my time, or whatever the case may be. So I don't get sad about it. I just believe in God for wherever He's going to guide me at, and my time will come. So, I don't apply for Essence for a couple of times and got denied. How do I not know that if I apply this year that I might not get denied? It's all in timing. That's my faith. My time will come. I'm just going to keep coming, just keep working, keep doing my content, keep working with clients, and just keep posting. That's my main thing. I need to post more often, and just leave everything in God's hands. It's going to work out. Just, networking and being in the right places, and just being me, being my authentic self, nobody else, because I'm a fun person to be around. I'm goofy. I'm not, if it's for me, it's for me. If it's not for me, oh well. It's everything that I have did in my career is not by luck. It's faith. God don't put me in this position to work with certain celebrities that have been just being me, and just taking a leap of faith and asking them, hey, can I work with you? And they say yes. And you just have to do that and just, keep going, because at the end of the day, you can get as many no's as you want, and then then that one day those yeses is going to roll in. How could I say it? I just be like, you know what, damn if you do, damn if you don't. It's going to come. I'm just going to keep working my heartstrings out.
I love that. We talked about this a little bit before. There are two great examples on the internet when internet fame comes for you, you can never be sure of it because you don't apply to receive it. It's simply gifted to you. Brittany Broski, with her whole kombucha girl meme. She weren't planning on it, but then it happened. And then she did the work necessary to be like, okay, people are resonating with this, and this is something that I can do, that I enjoy doing. I have my confines and constraints that I want to operate in. Boom, let's go. And now she's very successful. Very successful.
Yes.
Versus Hawk Tour Girl. She became a meme overnight. And she didn't have the people around her to help her build up the things that she needed to build. Now, baby, apparently she's on the FBI most wanted list for getting into crypto. So, like...
Right.
It's a comment, I think, on you will not know when the opportunity is due to come your way because it's all in the timing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what you can do is be ready for it when it does come.
Absolutely. Amen, brother.
And be ready to move.
Exactly. Actually, I like what you just said, like when you first started talking, work for it. You have to work for it. Nothing is going to be handed to you. You have to work for it. Now, granted, we all like getting paid, but sometimes you're gonna have to do some pro bono work just to get where you need to get to. And no, it's nothing wrong with doing free work. It has to be intentional, because if it makes sense, it can lead to something beautiful. So yeah, you have to work for it. Y'all look where y'all at now, like your podcast. You don't want an award because guess what? Y'all don't put in the work. Y'all got family.
Hello.
Things go in y'all lives that be like, oh, for real, this is how it's going to be today, and y'all still have to do what y'all have to do. So, put in the work.
Yeah. I feel like there are Tim and I have had plenty of conversations on the work because, as you know, you come across plenty of people who say that they want to do the thing. They're really interested in the thing. But then when it's time to show up, crickets.
Yeah.
Dust in the wind, where are they at? Listen, I know we are in the time of the Great Resignation, and I do agree that there are certain industries and certain businesses where you've got to let your uplines know that your time is precious. And you're not going to be all that to all times to all people anyway, and that's totally fine.
Yes.
But I do believe that when you are operating as an independent, as a contractor, and you are working just like you say, either pro bono or you're building business or building business relations, early is on time is late is fired. That's my personal perspective on that, right? I'm not saying you need to be there more than 15 minutes beforehand if you don't need to be. I'm just saying, if I'm working with you, like I'm volunteering to do this as well, and my decision on whether or not we're going to work together again, frankly, is reliant on how you act in the next couple of minutes, on how you act in this next conversation, on how you present yourself. Because if you show up acting laissez-faire, lackadays, because, we're all just here having fun. Yes, we are having fun. We're having a good time.
Yes. However,
you still need to deliver.
Exactly. And if it's somewhere that I never been, so say if it's not 9 a.m. Oh, baby, I'm there at 8 a.m. or before because I need to check out the surroundings. Do I need to put up 2 lights? Do I need to put up any lights? I need to check everything. Yeah, I can set my equipment up in 10, 15 minutes, but no, I need to scope the surroundings because I never know what I might need. So, yeah, I'm there an hour early, sometime an hour and a half. And if they see me and if I start doing stuff, okay, I'm starting before 9 o'clock, but guess what? That shows the client like, wow, they don't came here early. They started early. I'm gonna work with them again. Yes, I hate being late. I don't like being late. So I make sure that I'm up early to the place. And if I'm beating the owner there before they open, like I want them to know, like, yeah, I was here waiting for you.
Let them know. Be there, be prepared. Because if anyone... Listen, my whole thing is I'm not planning on anyone falling down and turning this into a dog's breakfast. But if it's going to be a fall down, it ain't going to be on me.
That part.
I will be here. I'll shut up. My hands are clean. I did what needed to be done. It's interesting talking about this as well. We talked to Mindy J about this, and she said she's really looking forward to doing another class with Coco Rocha for modeling. And she says, I'm really looking forward to going there and just serving. And just being there and saying, what can I do? Yeah. And I just think that's so incredible.
Been there. done that, like just been like a second, how can I say, second hand person to doing media stuff at an event, and they needed more hands on deck. So I was like, where do you need me? What you need me to check? What can I do? I'm up in the media booth running around with them, and yeah, no, I'm not part of your team, but I can help y'all so we can have this flowing, right?
Absolutely. And even what you were saying before about sometimes you walk into a situation, maybe you don't know all of the things. Maybe, what do you need a hand with?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I need a hand with this thing. You don't know anything about that thing. That's fine. Listen, I don't know what this thing is, but do you need me to do something? Tell me what I need to do, and I will be happy to help. That's your free learning opportunity right there. That's your free
Yeah.
education. You don't need to pay for the class because now you're going to learn on the job. Like, it's all very... Sometimes the opportunities just present themselves, and you got to be in the position to take it when it comes to you. So listen, on
Yes.
that note, Miss Outstanding Photographer 2024,
Yes, sir.
we talked a little bit about this at the beginning, the incredulity of that night and what it was like to be there. What does it do for you to be a part of this broader plus size legacy?
It's one of those things that is like, wow, and I want to work more in it. That whole night made me like, okay, I'm reaching out to certain plus size male photographers, the females. Like, I really want to get more into it and learn more about it. And if it's somewhere like it's an event, I'll reach out. I'm gonna reach out to the main owner and be like, do you need help with something? Can I be a help of some sort to build like that networking relationships? Because them networking relationships do lead to paid jobs. So if that can get me further into the fashion world of the plus size, I'll take it. That night, like I said, I'm still in awe. Don't know how I got there, but I got there. And and now it opened my eyes to more opportunities, I would say, and I guess more ways of creativity and working with other people.
So, as a way to kind of close this out, we
Mhm.
ask everybody this question, and it's a fun one.
Okay.
What food gives you life, and what food brings you peace?
Every cookie. I love a good chocolate chip cookie. I'm a chips girl, so if I got a good bag of potato chips, Doritos, I'm happy. Just leave me to my snack. Leave me to my cookies. If I'm stressed out about something, and I'll say this, I'm a stress eater, so I'll go to all my go-to snacks and go watch Law and Order Special Victims Unit. Leave me alone. Just leave me alone. That's I'm a chips and cookies girl.
And what aspects of plus size do you think get too much attention? And what things do you think we need to see more of?
I would love to see more plus size people at New York Fashion Week, be truthful with you, walking the runway. Don't give me that, oh no, this is for this size, this is for this size. No, you can make it in plus size. I would love to see some of these high-end designers cater to the plus size women, because these plus size women is giving the skinny models hell, because they can walk those same runways and look just as beautiful. They just don't want to, I guess, cater to that. And it's sad, but that's why they have plus size fashion shows around New York Fashion Week. But I would love to see somebody in a Gucci runway or a Louis Vuitton runway plus size. That would be amazing. And I'm really getting more into like the fashion shows and everything, but I would love to see more of that. And hopefully it'll happen soon, and give the plus size curvy girl a chance.
And ultimately, what is next for you? What's on the horizon?
What's next for me is, I deal with corporate business stuff, but I would love to get, like I said, fashion and creative shooting. Like, just I have my own studio and just put a pool in there and then make it look like it's a mirage or something like that. Working towards that, working more towards video, meaning to do documentary, brand stories. Would love to work with fashion brands. So I'm actually been doing my research and reaching out to certain fashion brands to say, hey, I would love to partner with you. and collab with you to do some photos and videos of the models, or if you can send me some clothes or a couple of pieces, I can find the models and we just create the content and send to them and build a partnership. That's what I'm working towards.
That's fantastic. Sherine,
Thank you.
this was a wonderful
Yes.
conversation today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, yes, I had an amazing time. You guys are phenomenal. Like, easy to talk with. The conversation is amazing, lovable. Like, y'all are just adorable, and I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, baby,
Yes.
where can the viewers find you online?
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram at Tate Digital Media. Facebook is Tate Digital Media, and my website is www.tatedigitalmedia.com.
Fabulous. Well, that's a wrap it out here with this week's Full Figured interview. You can find me on Instagram at Stanham.
And you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Thicky Mouse.
Now, please like this video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Comment below and let us know your thoughts on today's conversation. Share the video with your friends and encourage them to tune in next week, where we'll be speaking with more full-figured excellence right here on the channel. So until then, have a great week.